Thank you for keeping it right here on Sunrise at Sea on CTV. My name is Apollo Sarah and welcome to our second segment of the Twitter Jabs. And the conversation continues from the first part of the Twitter Jabs, and we were discussing and bringing you the mixed reactions from Twitter on what people are saying after the president's directive to have all, government-owned ministries, departments have their printing done by state-owned printeries. So in studio with me is Mr. Fred Kamya, and he's an executive member from the Uganda Printing and Publications Association. Thank you, sir, for joining me today on the Twitter Jabs.
Welcome, Sarah.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy Janan Luom Day.
Thank you. Thank you. We commemorate his death.
Yes.
Because he spoke the truth.
Yes, he did.
So here we have to speak the truth.
Exactly.
Yes.
And today's theme for Janan Luom Day is hope, irrespective of affiliation. So I hope today we all move forward in love, in peace, and unity. But let's just dive into our conversation right away. But before we start, I would like you to please explain to the viewer what the mandate of the Uganda Printing and Publications Association is.
Uganda Printers and Packaging Association is an umbrella organization that brings together all printers in the country.
Okay.
So, whether private or government,
yes,
we formed this association so that we would come together and speak with one voice.
Yes.
So that is the major mandate of Uganda Printers and Packaging Association.
Yes.
So in so doing, we organize ourselves, we come together and speak about issues that pertain to the industry. For example, policy.
Yes.
Now that there is a directive given by the president, these are the kind of issues that we come together and talk about, and talk with the government,
yes,
and talk with the relevant authorities to see that we get a clear way forward.
Yes.
So that's the major mandate of the Uganda Printers and Packaging Association.
Okay. And respective to the president's directive, what is the UPPA's request to government regarding this printing directive?
We were surprised to find that the president made such a directive.
Surprised how? Surprised
because for the years past, we have been working with the PPDA.
Yes.
The body mandated to handle procurement and disposal of assets.
Yes.
Of mainly government.
Yes.
And we have been working on issues that, one, will bring about competition, that two, will bring about fairness, that three, will bring about local content,
yes,
and four, will enhance the development of Bubu.
Yes.
Buy Uganda,
build
Uganda.
Yes.
So these are the issues been working around with PPDA, Ministry of Finance, and other organizations for the past few years.
Yes.
So now, when we see this now come into force, we are shocked.
Very shocked.
We are surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where does it leave everybody else? I'm aware you conducted a survey in 2017. Please tell me about that.
We conducted a survey in 2017 in conjunction with the Uganda Manufacturers Association.
Yes.
And it was a detailed survey.
Okay.
Because we reached out to most of the printeries.
Yes. Private owned?
Private, yes, as well as
the
government.
State owned, yes.
Yes. We reached out, and the report is thorough. For example, in the directive, it mentions that New Vision and UPPC,
yes,
invested $45 million.
$45 million.
$45 million.
Yes.
Us, according to the survey of 2017, not 2021, of 2017,
yes,
we had invested together $280 million.
That is privately owned printing businesses.
Yes.
Okay.
So now when this directive comes, $45 million vis-a-vis $380 million.
Yes.
Where does it leave the ones that have invested $380 million?
The ones who have invested more.
Where does it leave them?
Yes.
So where does it leave the 40,000 people employed in the industry? Where does it leave them? So these are the questions we are asking ourselves. What do we do? You know? So this is the quagmire that we find ourselves in right now.
Yes. And government does spend, it's said that government does spend over 50 billion Uganda shillings annually in just printing alone. So of course I do understand and see where the plight comes in, where you say that, but the government is our biggest client. So when you take all that away from us, where does that leave us? Because there isn't enough to, you know, share among us from only the private owned businesses. So what is your request? What is UPPA's request to government?
So our request is this, that considering the amount of money invested,
Yes.
considering the number of people employed,
Working, yes.
and considering that 90% of the 40,000 people employed in the industry are youth,
Yes.
we are asking government, we are asking the president, kindly, sorry, excuse me, we are not fighting, we are not, you know, we are asking kindly and humbly,
Yes.
that the president reconsiders this position. How? Now, we have got, according to this report,
Yes.
there is a lot of money annually leaving the country, going out, because there are organizations of government doing printing jobs outside the country.
Explain that to me. I'm finding this hard to fathom. So now the printing work is also done outside the country?
Yes. On average, about 25 billion to
Yes.
35 billion
Yes.
of printed work is done outside the country. So now, we are asking the president humbly, let us now stop all this work going outside,
Yes.
to be printed from outside, so that it can be, excuse me, so that it can be printed here locally.
Yes.
When that happens, now, because what's causing now the situation that New Vision and UPPC run to the president is scarcity.
Yes.
This report, when you read it, you'll find that according to the survey that was conducted in 2017, printeries were running on average 40% their potential,
Yes.
their capacity.
Yes.
40%
In 2017.
in 2017, meaning that out of 10 hours a day, printeries were working only 4 hours.
And then the rest of the day, nothing, no work.
Nothing. So which shows you that there is scarcity, which shows you that there is capacity to do the work.
Yes.
And so if there is capacity to do the work, now we are asking, Your Excellency the President, please consider that no printed work should be done outside the country. What does that mean? It means that now we are talking bubu.
Yes.
Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
That is if we want to achieve our 2040 vision.
Exactly. It means that we are talking employment. It means that we are talking local content.
Yes.
You know, because you see, now we are all geared towards the start of the flow of oil
Yes.
in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
And we also talk about local content there. So now this should show us the example. If you're talking of local content in printing, is it happening?
Yes.
If we talk of local content in when oil begins to flow, will it happen? If it's not happening right now.
Yes.
So these are the scenarios we are looking at, and implore the president to please reconsider his directive so that all can benefit.
Yes.
Because if we can have that work remain in the country and done in the country, we are going to ensure employment.
True.
Now, two, when we let work be done by only 2 entities and leave off the rest, one, where is fairness?
Exactly.
Number 2, where is competitiveness?
Yes.
Because how are the 2 only going to compete amongst themselves when they've got so much to do?
Yes.
You know, so it creates a scenario where funds may not be utilized properly or appropriately the way they should be.
Does this directive break any rules or regulations?
It does.
Which ones?
The PPDA Act talks of fairness, talks of competitiveness, talks of local content. So all these now are done away with. Yes.
It's been 6 months since this directive was passed. It was passed on 28th September last year, 2021. What has been the impact in relation to the business and employment?
You know, at first, government ministries and agencies, even us, didn't know so much about it. It began to come out around December.
Yes.
You know, because it wasn't openly publicized.
It was not.
It was not.
That's why when you say we were shocked,
yes.
Now I understand why you were shocked.
It was not. So around December, it begins to come out. So we begin to wonder whether it's true or not. Actually, most of us thought that these are some of the fake news going around.
Yes.
But then the signature of the president was appended. And so on. Is it true or somebody's just faking things? But then government ministries and agencies began to implement. So when you go, there's, oh, no, there's nothing, we have nothing for you.
When you go to
everything,
bid,
yes, everything were directed to give to New Vision and UPPC. So now, this is how now the confusion began to surface.
Yes.
And so this is how we began to organize ourselves, and this is why we're here.
All right. And lastly, my question is there any created relationship between the state-owned and private printing companies? Or since this directive, it has been, the relationship has been cut off, where the private-owned businesses or printing companies are on their own and also state-owned companies are on their own?
That has been the case for quite some time, that everyone survives on their own, in as far as bidding and doing work is concerned.
Yes.
Yes, I know some of them, when they get an overflow of work, they outsource to some other printeries.
Yes.
But should that be the case really?
It should not.
Because
I don't think so.
If, for example, New Vision got this job, and because of pressures of time, they can't handle it in the specified time, then they go to another 2 or 3, how much will they pay them? And will that enable these other printeries survive and pay their employees and take care of their overheads and everything?
Yes.
So this is the question. And so this is why we are very humbly asking His Excellency the President to reconsider this directive.
Exactly, and apply fairness. So before I let you go, any last remarks that you'd like to share with our viewer or with the President? I'm sure he will get this message.
We are asking fellow printers to be patient and wait for the outcome, because we are doing everything possible. We know that the President is a very understanding person. That one we know. And because we know that, we are sure he will reconsider his directive. Maybe, by the way, on the one hand, we have a feeling that he was led into such a kind of situation because he didn't have this kind of information.
Yes.
But with this information, now he will have a balanced view of what is going on in the industry, and then he will make another directive, we hope.
Exactly. And lastly, what advice would you give to the Uganda private printing business owners as they wait for the government or for the President to reconsider this directive? What should they do in the meantime? Meantime,
let's remain afloat.
Yes.
That's the biggest challenge.
Yes.
Let's remain afloat. Because if we don't remain afloat, resuscitating us may be quite an insurmountable challenge.
Exactly.
But let's do everything to remain afloat.
Exactly. And now with the economy fully opened, I'm sure there are ways that they can come up, creative ways to also stay afloat. I mean, we have been locked down for the last 2 years, so now is not the time to give up. No. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Fred Kamia, for joining me today. And he's an executive member of the UPPA. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea. We have more coming up for you. Coming on is our wellness segment, and I'm in the kitchen today, and I'll be showing you how to make a chicken salad. So stay tuned and don't blink.